What's up, viewers, subscribers, and agents alike? This your boy, Enlightened Luciferian Prince, coming at y'all with another upload. Hopefully, everybody's in good wealth, everybody's in good health, everybody's safe, everybody's pretty much fighting against the societal chaos that just so daily just pervades our society today, as if we don't know who and what's doing it. Well, some of us really just don't. Some of us really have no idea. Some of us do. But before I proceed with this video, I would like to say, if you're watching this video around children, please remove them from your immediate vicinity because my videos are not for children. Okay? So, with that being said, let me also proceed to say that this video will contain some legal references and some legal tactics and maneuvers, but it doesn't constitute legal advice. The sole purpose of this information is for educational and information purposes only. But before I proceed to that point, I want to tell y'all something that just recently took place on my YouTube channel. And I know that they've been, shadow banning, and some of y'all don't get notifications. Ain't no way that I should be able to put up a video and 4 days later, like I said before, a couple days later, it's only got a certain amount of views, but there's no excuse with that amount of subscribers. I know that a lot of people have hit the subscribe button, have the notifications, and have been telling me personally they ain't been getting them. But I understood the method to the madness that was behind it all. I put a video up there about 2 days ago. It was titled American Gods, which is a series that's on Stars. And I used to watch it because I like the strong dialogue. I like the subject matter. I like the actual production of it before it started getting to the point where the racially inclined dialogue started to progress to such a pitch where I strongly believe, in my personal opinion, bias aside, the producers got a little afraid. Now, people are like, well, what do you mean? I'm going to get to that point, but I'm going to say exactly where it came from. This came literally from Fremantle International and Lionsgate. Literally, this was the actual company that did this. And through one of the agents or whatever, and it says the video was actually blocked in the United States. Now, they can choose to block their content as theirs. They own the rights to it. However, if you understand the trick behind it and you realize that there's a lot of videos that people put online daily that has music in the background, that has imagery, that has and someone else's intellectual property, and to sum it all up, that's always put online. Now, when it comes to this, which is a video that was only 1 minute and 22 seconds long, it was a very powerful scene, which I do still have saved, yes, because it was on a free social media platform, but when it came out to YouTube being conveyed, and that was a problem. But needless to say, here nor there, the segment of the show that really got a little controversial is when it got around to the slaves revolting. You see what I'm saying? And this is the truth, because that's exactly what took place in that scene for those people who saw the video, the three of y'all who did see it. But the truth is, that's what it was. Now, why would something so dramatic as far as being placed in cinema that they freely didn't have no problem profiting off of be such a problem? And why would you block it in the United States? Because, again, people, once you start to realize that unless they can control the narrative, then they get a little afraid, because now they're going to start losing control of it, because now they got to keep the narrative up to the momentum to basically keep their audience intrigued. But the truth is, the way it works in the structuralized system of the dominant society, for the people, quote unquote, who have money and influence, what they basically do is they turn around and, oh, we're going to cancel a show. We're just going to cancel it. We're going to fire actors. We're going to switch it up. And what you do, though, it's a very expensive mistake, because now your viewer base, which are people who actually like to see this type of, dialogue or this type of production and seeing people in a positive light, have fallen off. Majority of the opposite end of the spectrum ain't gonna watch it because they don't have no relevance or relativity to it. Long story short, I chalk it up as another win in my book Because to the average worldly person, they might be like, oh, well, they banned it because it's David Arbor, whatever. You didn't even watch the show. Shut the fuck up. Your opinion really don't even matter because you didn't even watch it. You don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. Because I removed the content myself. I took it upon myself as the manager and controller of my channel to take it down because ain't no sense in keeping it up there if people can't see it. But it's their property. It is what it is. And some of y'all belong to them. So don't get mad. Don't worry about the property I put on them channel. Just get do you hear me? Anyway, with that being said, it's another attack on the conscious, the consciousness that wishes to be espoused. Because, ain't nothing done in the dark one to the light. Just to keep it real. But that's just how they get down. And I noticed that a lot of people with platforms and a lot of people who have a sort of consciousness, because a lot of people really don't, but a lot of people who really want people to be educated, and a lot of people, when it was just one minimal leader, like yesteryear, like everybody personifies, the Malcolm X of the world and Martin Luther King. Now you got to understand that there literally are not just one or two, there's thousands upon thousands upon thousands upon thousands who use social media to basically voice, significant truths. Some out here spitting some bullshit, but y'all decipher that. That's for y'all to determine. But the truth is, there's there's millions of people who, all worldwide, the country. But you have to understand, in order to keep a certain status quo, you have to shut down, basically, those people who speak a lot, against a lot, and can prove the facts. Not just state a belief or bias, but the proof. And that's what I did. So they got that. Thanks, y'all. Thanks for the shout out. But anyway, let's get on to another beat. Let's get on to the legal angle. I felt compelled to put this video up here because someone told me personally, they was like, they were in a court battle, names aside, and none of your business in regards to who it is or what it is. But I keep people business private. But they were telling me about a legal battle, whatever the case may be, and they were trying to apply the processes. Now, I don't know how thoroughly the processes may have been applied. I don't know if they would have followed through with them. I don't even know if that person was actually that active in regards to response to these cases with these people. But I'm here to basically let you know this is where you should begin. If you're a newbie and if you're an individual, even if you're educated on this stuff, I suggest you come to this avenue. Because one thing for sure, I tell a lot of people about the court system. It's a system. A system works with rules. Rules work with instructions. Instructions work with purpose. Purpose gets a determinative result. That's how it works. Nothing happens by accident, quote unquote. Of course, unless, of course, you don't know how to cook and you burn yourself. That's an accident. But you mean to tell me whole countries being destabilized is an accident? Nah, it was a legal process. Don't get it fucked up. But I want to talk about the actions in regards to a structure of a system also that people call the Holy See. The Holy See is the Vatican. But the Vatican in and of itself is a city. It is not the body politic that makes up the governance of how that city operates. Just like the city of London isn't the body politic of how it constitutes its commercial ongoings. Washington, D.C. is not the particular body politic that governs what its ongoings are what's inside its borders, which is only 10 miles square. Some of y'all don't believe it's the coast, but believe what you want. Unless you can prove facts otherwise, it's de facto. And that's a legal definition that they wrote in their dictionary. I didn't make it up. But I like to read. No, love to read. But here we go. We're going to start here for those who got pen and paper, those who love to learn and like to keep on rolling, and free access to this information, because most people walk around with the world in their hand, don't even realize it. This comes from Vatican.va//archive. So you got access to all this stuff. You ain't got to lean on the shoulder. All you got to do is just have a tight attention span and do a little research. You'll be surprised what you find. But let's talk about it. When actions begin, it normally starts off with what's called a claim. Those people have a legal dictionary. Look up what the word claim is, and all it really says is that somebody's saying you've done something. That doesn't mean you have to admit anything. That's why these laws show trick people, make people believe you have to talk to your adversary. I don't care what people say. I don't care their sympathies. I don't care how they feel in regards to their false outlook on the pretense of who these people are. If you yourself are accused of something, let's just start civilly. Because let's talk about civil suits. If you go to the criminal stuff, they get a little bit more, we're going to start soft. Someone saying they're suing you. The first thing that most people do in their personal mental construct is believe that they owe that person. They owe. You see what I'm saying? They believe that the person won and they don't know anything, or they got to go run to a phone and pick up a phone and call a lawyer. If you're that mentality, this video is at, let me see, 10:55. Cut it off. If you got that mentality, because they're going to rape you for a lot of change. You see what I'm saying? They're going to get a lot of money from you. And they're going to pay anywhere upwards of tens of thousands of dollars. Lawyers are not cheap, especially the good ones. Now, y'all already know. I ain't got to explain. But let us talk about the intrinsic purpose of where canon law came from. Canon Law, you have a pen and paper, write it down. Canon Law 1491. Every right is protected not only by an action, but also by an exception of rules unless other provision is expressly made. What does that mean? It says every right is protected not only by an action, which is someone putting a claim against you or you doing vice versa, but when an exception of the rules applies, which in certain cases, a person goes into what is called legally default, and they basically don't proceed with the case because they don't want to. They acquiesce by silence, by a tacit admission. Or another provision is expressly made. This is the most vitally important point, because this is when you can now formulate affidavits. I've heard people over the years agree with judges in cowardice, really, or any other legal official. These documents aren't valid. First off, you can't make that determination, because just by your mere objection, if it's notarized and it's signed and it has statements made by me and I can testify to it being on that document, it's legal. Because some people, not all, have proceeded with this. They have not actually practiced it in regards to follow-up. See, some people lose cases because they don't pay attention to the docket. So your adversary is trying not to lose, and what you should have is the same mind that you don't want to lose, because that's what it is when a claim begins. Anywho, we'll go further. Every action is extinguished by prescription according to the norm of law by some other legitimate means. Legalese, but every action is extinguished by prescription, prescribed law, jurisprudence, according to the norm of law, which is common law, which is an affidavit, by some other legitimate means, with the exception of actions concerning the status of persons, which are never extinguished. Now, when you take it into consideration about specific negative averment, Federal Rule of Civil Procedure 9A, it talks about in federal law, what it says is that in civil law, I should say federal law, it says that a person must aver specific negatively or positively the capacity to sue and wish to be sued. But you don't extinguish it because you don't know what you're doing. And that banking on that, and I say that word banking with strict emphasis. Now, here we go. Canon Law 1494. The respondent can file a counterclaim against the petitioner before the same judge in the same trial, either because of the connection of the case with the principal action or to remove or diminish the claim of petitioner. This is your line of defense. So basically, countersuing is often going to change the mind of your adversary, because they know in their prescription that they're trying to make sure that they can undermine you first. So they're going to try to beat you to the race line. But remember, there was a story they taught and published into society called The Tortoise and the Hare. See, motherfuckers think turtles move slow. Then you obviously haven't swam in Florida. If you think turtles move fucking slow. Turtles move slow because they chill like that. You know what I'm saying? They eat herbs that slow them the fuck down. Get in the water with one of them motherfuckers. That motherfucker will barrel roll you right in your shit. No bullshit. Anybody that swim in Florida know exactly what I'm talking about. No, I ain't lying. They move slow, but you have to also understand that this is your action. Once you get involved in a court action, once you get involved in a claim, you can't sit here and be stagnated and let this shit languish. That's why a lot of people lose. Nobody ain't hear me. Here it is. The Canon Law 1495. And these laws still stand to this very day. Still to this very day. To this very existent day. As of the day of this recording. Canon Law 1495. The counterclaim must be presented to the judge before whom the first action was filed, even if the judge was delegated for only the case or otherwise relatively incompetent, which in and of itself is an issue of judicial review, which they have to examine their own court officers. It's not up to you to make that determination. So we'll let them retain that medium of exchange with in regards to their own people. So it is what it is, people. Like I said, I don't want to tarry too long with the video because I ain't gonna lie, my mouth getting a little dry, you know. But I will say in defense of the characteristics of the integrity of the justice system, or in regards to the system, quote unquote, because it's all law anyway. The more you enlighten yourself, the more you inform yourself, and the more you educate yourself, and the more you have points of reference, your naysayers, which is pretty much all the people who have this mentality locked in thinking that they just got it all figured out, won't have shit to say. That's the beautiful part. See, when it comes with facts and evidence, I know it's a lot of people on a lot of YouTube channels get harassed by a lot of people. You know, the system ain't even worried about you. That's the crazy part. A lot of people be worried about the system. It's the motherfuckers who are dependent upon it, who will argue you down and don't know what the fuck they talking about. I swear to God, that's illegal. How the fuck is it illegal? I'm giving you the blueprint of how it works, but you don't want to read. You want somebody else to tell you what to do. See, I read. This is factual. Proven fact. Look it up for yourself. Take my word for it. Add it to your library. Act upon it. Do what it says. Get the results. See, naysayers, they can say whatever they want because most of them ghosts in the shell anyway. They're really non-relevant. They just want to be heard. But this is the same type of mentality that's very harmful to society because it's so easier to poison and convince people that there's nothing you can do when there's a whole fucking plethora of information out here that proves otherwise, that they can't do. You know why they can't do it? It's not because it's illegal. It's because their mentality. Their mentality. The way they think. The way that their mind has been shaped to be so fucking just lazy. This shit took millennia to put together. When them motherfuckers seized power on Vatican Hill in 1195, they wasn't bullshit. Now, of course, they campaigned and a lot of shit happened in history. If you love history, like the real history anyway, you know for a fact that what I'm saying is true. But it's crazy how you can have laws and doctrine that's centuries old and motherfuckers can't even remember what happened 5 minutes ago. Want to argue with me. Boy, you better go fix yourself. And see, I've had judges agree with me. I don't give a fuck what a peon say. I don't care. So they can say what they want. But I say this because this is how you have to operate yourself in this commercial sphere. Not with fear, but with knowledge. See, and by learning this stuff and stockpiling it for your own edification and purposes, it often helps you learn how to navigate through certain channels and so forth and so on. And you probably won't even have to deal with these people ever in your life. Why do people feel like they have to? That's their own self-determination. What am I to tell you what to do? You deal with it. It's your life. But when it comes down to the proof and the evidence and the facts, that's what I love to give to people, like let you know it's for yourself. Look for it yourself. See, I'm not one of these channels, like I said before. I'm gonna speak in cryptic code and be clandestine. Why should I? This shit's public. This is publicly published. This is publicly published. It's just that you probably didn't know about it up until this point. Some people have, some people, a lot more haven't. And that's pretty much primarily the intent, that you don't know. So what you don't know often will hurt you. Get into the knowledge, dive deep. But people, I gave you the reference, I gave you the spell. There it is. You learned a very significant truth in less than 21 minutes. Just that simple. But you know, the complexity of it all is that a lot of people who come into this knowledge don't want to dedicate enough time and energy into learning about the intricacies of it, because what you think you might know about it, you really probably don't. And that's where you make errors and missteps. I've done it myself. I've made errors. I've made mistakes. But if you think you're going to make it through this life without fucking up, you're never going to get better. You're never going to get better. And that's real talk. Because people who think they got it all together really don't. Behind closed doors, they ain't shit to their own self. But when you walk in the actual admittance of saying, hey, I fucked up, all you're going to do is look for a solution to get better if you're really about that life. But if you think you're just going to walk through this motherfucker unscathed, you must not touch the hot stove when you was a kid, huh? Some people swear they didn't. But I say that for the points of edification, for all intents and purposes, for public knowledge. That's pretty much it. Those who are going to act upon it will act upon it. Those who don't, choice is yours. You know? It's what it is. Your first time viewing this channel, please like and subscribe. If you like a furtherance of information in regards to personal consultation, please contact me by the email address in the email description. Serious inquiries only. Agents, do not contact me. I do not consent, nor do I oblige whatsoever. Because I'll tell you what, I don't do anything illegal. Everything I do is legal because it goes by what was written. I just know how to read between the lines. See what I'm saying? Now, a lot of people might not catch what I just said, but that's the truth. I didn't make this stuff up. I just was granted the strength, you know, by my creator to basically interpret what it says. You know? That's all. That's all, folks. People don't get that. It's where once you catch on to something, it's where there's something wrong with it. Well, if you want to stay in your little box or your little barrel, whichever you choose to stay in, that's fine. But don't hate on other people who want to know the truth. You know? And unfortunately, the world we live in is so ungenuine that they don't have no problem keeping people where they are. So, it's what it is. You're either going to excel or you're going to decelerate. You know? Just pick one, choose. Pick one choicely and swiftly. Choice is yours. Like, subscribe. Make sure you hit that notification button every time I drop a video. You'll be properly informed. Agents, I feel intellectually decent today to just say, fuck you. That's all I can say. Fuck you. Simple. Y'all take care. Peace, light, love. Study hard. Like I said, those people who need the information, whatever, your schedule allowed throughout the week, because I don't work on the weekend. Schedule allowed throughout the week, contact me. If it don't, contact me at your earliest convenience. That's all I can tell you. But I'm out. You know, got some movies to watch. You feel me? You feel me? Take care, y'all. Peace.